guys, welcome back to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 model of the NordicTrack X22i. So this is one of NordicTrack's Incline Trainers, which means it inclines to 40%, drops down to a -6. It's relatively large, so it does take up a bit of space and it doesn't fold up, but it has lots of functionality, and we're really excited to dive into some of the new updated features on the 2021 model. So let's take a closer look. So let's jump in and take a look at who the X22i is best suited for. So as I mentioned, this is a large machine. It has a really pretty good sized footprint and it doesn't fold up. The machine itself is 70 inches long, it is 39 inches wide, and it's 73 inches to the top. Now it inclines to a 40% grade, so that's something to be aware of. Your step up height is a little elevated on this one because it has that 6% drop. So it is about 15 inches to your step up height. So that's something to be aware of. This machine has abundant cushioning. So it is excellent for anyone who has joint issues, limited mobility, is looking for something that really absorbs some of that impact as you walk along. We highly recommend it for people that are looking for impact cushioning. It also has this lovely 22-inch touchscreen. So we recommend it for people who are willing to use the iFit subscription. iFit comes free for that first year, which is really nice. And then beyond that, if you're really going to use the full functionality of the screen, we do recommend that users look at continuing that iFit subscription. If you are a person who really doesn't want to pay for a subscription, then we probably recommend looking for a treadmill that doesn't have a 22-inch touchscreen. You cannot surf the web, watch Netflix, do anything else on this screen. It's just designed to showcase iFit. So that's something to be aware of. Also, this machine is excellent for people who want varied conditioning, right? In iFit, they have lots of hiking where the incline goes up and down, so you can hike trails. There's walking tours, plenty of running and jogging options. And then it also includes both on and off treadmill workouts, boot camp, strength training, yoga. So if you're looking for something to maybe replace a gym membership, this is a really good option. We don't recommend it for people who have limited space, obviously, because it just doesn't have, it doesn't fold up and it does take quite a bit of space. So anyway, let's take a closer look at the overall construction. All right, so let's take a closer look at the construction on the X22i. So the frame of the machine has not really changed this year that you'll notice. However, there is a faster incline motor, and we'll demo that for you later. It's both faster and quieter, which is really nice. Right here you can see that I have the deck inclined to that full grade. So it's all the way up to level 40, and you can see how high that tilts. So it really does provide a lot of incline options. The reason I like to do that is because it allows you to see these cross beams underneath. So you can see the steel side rails and the cross rails that really kind of hold that deck securely. On a machine this size, you can feel the fact that it is just thoroughly grounded on the floor. So it feels very stable, which is nice. You also have these nice curved uprights. You'll notice that they don't go straight up. They kind of curve a little bit. And that's nice because it pushes the console back just a slight bit away from directly over the top of the deck. So you've got that full use of the track, which is also a really nice feature that I like. And as with all the other ones, these are powder coated and just kind of protected. You can see you've got your incline motor right here underneath, and then your main motor is here in the base of the deck, which is different than a folding treadmill. On a folding treadmill, the motor's up here, and that allows the weight to be in the front of the machine so you can lift the back end. This is different. So the weight is back here, and that reduces any problems that you have with the motor hood at the front. So you can see you just kind of have this flat protective piece there at the front, which really gives you an elongated track, and it's not going to get in your way. So that's another thing that I like. The side rails on this are just a little wider, and you can see how they're angled just a touch. So as you stand up on them, they make it really easy just to kind of step on and off the deck. The other thing to be aware of on this machine, you can't see it, but it has 2.5-inch rollers. And what rollers do is they're down here at the bottom and they roll that belt across the top of the deck. The larger the roller, the more surface area it has. So less tension is required on the belt, which enhances the longevity of your belt, and it also creates a smoother feel as you're walking along. I also like the textured surface of this. It's just textured enough that your foot feels grippy when you kind of run along, and it's not going to get slick if it's wet. So if you're sweating or dripping or anything like that, the belt provides a really nice feel underfoot. So the X22i has a 4.0 horsepower motor, which is roughly the largest we see. I think the X32i has a 4.25, so it's right on the top end as far as power goes, and it is very quiet. We actually did decibel testing with all of our treadmills here in our studio, and this one registered the quietest. So even when it's inclined, you get just a little bit of foot noise, but compared to other treadmills, it's actually quite, the noise output isn't as much as you would see on other machines. So as I mentioned, that 4.0 horsepower motor is tucked there at the back, and the machine has a 300-pound weight capacity, and it weighs just over 400 pounds. So it doesn't have as high of a weight capacity as maybe you would see on another machine, but the incline and the other features, and especially the cushioning, probably mitigate how much weight you can put on it. But we've actually found, we've had multiple reviewers test it, and it is very supportive and feels good for users of all different sizes. So as I mentioned, the Incline Trainers do not fold, but you can move them. They're heavy. So this machine weighs just over 400 pounds, but it does have wheels here. You can see those wheels at the front of the base. They're not engaged unless you lift and tip it, but a strong person can lift down here at the bottom. There is a steel grab bar, and you lift this direction, engage those wheels, and then you can move the X22i around a little bit if you need to. We don't recommend moving it regularly, but just so you're aware, it does have the wheels and you can roll it gently every now and again. So one thing we wanted to dive into a little deeper in our 2020 run reviews is the overall assembly. I get a lot of questions about the difficulty of assembly. Because of COVID and other things that have affected us this last year, assembly isn't available like it used to be in the past. And so most people, when they order a machine, end up assembling it themselves. We have actually found that the Incline Trainers, the X22i and X32i, are easier to put together than the lower end models because more of the machine comes pre-assembled. So when the machine arrives, the uprights and the console are already all assembled. The only thing you need to do is add your side rails and this front handrail and attach those to the front of the console. And you also need to attach the uprights to the support base, and then just put those plastic covers down on the bottom. So it does come with tools. We recommend if you have, a quality Allen wrench set, regular wrench, and then like a screwdriver, that's all you're gonna need. 2 people is required for assembly because you do have to have one person stabilize it while you have the other person screw it in. And there's a lot of things on this I can do, but I do have to have some of the bigger guys here help me really get the tension on those bolts at the end. So we do recommend that one of your 2 people have the sufficient arm strength to be able to just attach everything securely. So that kind of gives you an overview on assembly of the X22i. So NordicTrack covers the X22i with a 10-year warranty on the frame and motor. You've got 2-year coverage for parts and 1 year for labor. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the console. As you can see, I've got a program preloaded that's gonna start in a minute, and I have it in warm-up mode right here. I left it there because right down here you can see where it says connect to audio device. This is where you pair Bluetooth headphones. So if you have any Bluetooth, your devices will come up right there. So it's gonna try to connect to my Bluetooth headphones. They're not turned on right now, but that's how you do it. So right there, which makes it really easy. On the 2021 model, they have improved the graphics, and I feel like it is very noticeable. I mean, I'm gonna turn the volume down just so you don't hear that over me. But if you come out here, you can see this has impressive graphics. And iFit has really done a good job of making their videos very professional. So like you'll get an image of the trainers, you'll get an overview of the landscape, you'll get drone shots, you'll get various different angles. So it's not like it's all shot with one camera. You do get a lot of different videography inside each video, and I feel like it's very crisp. So they have improved the high def graphics, and I really feel like you can see the difference. The other thing is it does have a faster processor speed, so less time in buffering, it loads a little faster, and it's a little more responsive. It also has better Wi-Fi connectivity. So when it's searching for your signal, it tends to bring it right up without an issue. And you can also, like I demonstrated, sync with those Bluetooth headphones really easy. So right here, I've just got it running. You can see it's jumped up to 2.5 miles an hour. iFit has automation. So the belt and the incline, the speed in the incline will correlate with the pre-programmed class, like how steep it is, the natural terrain of where he's running, or if you're in class, it will follow what the instructor cues. So that's really nice. You can walk along and you don't have to worry about adjusting anything. So one thing I really love about this console is the way it is designed and laid out makes a lot of sense to me. I like having the screen right here, and I feel like this is the perfect size. It's not so big that it's right out there in front of me, but it's easy to see. The other thing that I love is the quick touch buttons on either side. You have incline on the left and speed on the right. They're very large. The print is very large and the button itself is very large. So to tap that button, it's easy to see, it's easy to read, and it's easy to reach. And because I use so many treadmills, it does make a difference the way the console is laid out. You do have a little lip right here in front of your screen. So I like the fact that you've got a side pocket over here for a phone that fits perfectly there, but you could also set it, you know, right in front of that screen. You do have that little lip if you need to, and the screen does tip forward and back just a touch. So you can adjust it for, you know, to reduce overhead glare or whatever, or to make sure that you've got the right visibility for you. If you're a taller person, you can tip it up. If you're shorter like me, you can tip it down. The other thing that I like is the speakers and the fan are right here directly in front of you. So the horizontal bar is down below that console, which makes this lower panel, once again, very easy to see and reach. So the speakers have good sound, and the fans do tip just a little bit so that you can adjust that fan direction. Down here you have your fan power, so you can increase or decrease down there. Same with volume. Volume is down here at the bottom. You have your start, stop, and safety key. And then once again on the left, you've got your manual incline. So your manual incline buttons will incline you by 0.5. So it'll go from like 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 to 3. So you've got 0.5 increments on the incline. And then on speed, your manual buttons over here will take you by 0.1. So it'll go 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So you can get a really targeted speed in there. And then your quick touch buttons just jump you by a full metric. So you've got 12 on the right, and then they kind of jump based on, you know, the increments that you'll want on incline on the left. So another thing I like about the console is your water bottle pockets are right here. So they're easy to reach. If I'm a taller person, I can reach around and grab that. It's just right there, and your phone is right here to the side. Also, you do have Bluetooth audio, so you can sync your phone with the machine and play your music through the speakers if you would like to. You can also sync a chest or arm strap with the machine for accurate heart rate metrics. And you just hit audio right there, and it will bring up the connection. Once you've connected, then on that display bar at the top, your heart rate will show up. All right, so let's take a look at the functionality. I've got the deck running, the belt running at like 1 mile an hour, just so you can kind of see it move along as I walk on it. Now, if I step off the belt, I want you to listen to the motor noise. It's very, very quiet. So when my feet press down on the belt and the belt presses against the top of the deck, you get just a little bit of a whooshing sound, which is very typical, but the motor itself is actually really quiet. I have it at a flat grade right now, so we're not inclined or declined, you're just flat right there. And the distance, I just measured, the distance of the handrails from the deck is about 36 inches, which I find is just perfect for me, and the span is about 36 inches. The deck itself is 60 inches long and 22 inches wide. So you've got quite a lot of space here, both lateral space and front back space. As I mentioned before, you can see the uprights are curved, and so that console is angled back just a little bit, which I really like. I can work up here right close to the console if I want to. I don't need to be that close, but I don't hit my foot on that motor hood. So there's a lot of design features that I really like about the X22i. It does have the sled push and the horizontal grip like I mentioned before. So if you want to activate that, you've got to drop it down to 1 mile an hour, and then you can push that belt along with your feet. So kind of pushing against, and this just requires more upper body engagement, a little more posterior strength. You can't do it at any speed other than 1 mile an hour, so that's just kind of how your sled push works. And you've got it up here as well, so if you want to raise those arms and lift it quite a bit. So I'm going to play around with the speed and the incline just a little bit. You can listen, watch for that reflex cushioning in the deck. So right here, I'm going to incline to a level 6. So I'm going to take it up and listen to that incline motor. It was really fast. I think it's like 3 times as fast. So let's jump it up to, we're going to go from 6 to 15. Just a few seconds and we're already there, okay? So now I'm going to increase the speed. I've been at 1 mile an hour, so I'll pick it up to a walking pace of about 3 miles an hour. So just watch for the flexibility in that deck. You have just a touch more output noise as you walk along, but I'm gonna hold this 3 mile an hour walking speed and incline it all the way up to that 40% grade. Whew. I have to drop my speed. So it really only takes a second to get there. You can see how steep this is. I'm gonna drop my speed, it's like at 1.5, just to stay on that incline. Now, one thing that's nice about incline training is it really requires more posterior muscles than just walking on a flat road. So it allows you to develop those glutes, hamstrings, calf muscles. And it also kicks up your heart rate, as you can tell. So you can work hard, but stay low impact. So one thing I do get questions about a lot is how does this machine function for different sized users? So I'm about 5'5" and weigh about 125 pounds. For me, I can get on pretty much any machine and it'll work. But we do have different reviewers that test all of our equipment. So I'm going to have one of our taller reviewers, Matthew, come out and demo the X22i for you. So he's taller and you'll be able to see how that deck gives a little bit, and you'll also get a better idea of clearance and things like that. All right, so as you can see, I've got Matthew on the machine. So Matthew is 6'5" and about 230 pounds. So hopefully this gives you an idea of just kind of reference for different sized users. So right now, Matthew is on a flat road at 1 mile an hour. I'm gonna have him incline to a 3% grade running 3 miles an hour. All right, so right here, I have Matthew on a 3% incline walking at 3 miles an hour. So you can see there's just a little bit of flexibility in that deck, just kind of increases your comfort as you walk along. So I'm gonna have Matthew increase his speed to 6 miles an hour, which is just a standard jogging speed, and incline the deck to a level 6. So a little higher on there. So now you can really see that reflex cushioning in the deck. All right, so now I'm gonna make Matthew's life really difficult, and I'm gonna have him increase his speed to 9 miles an hour and hold that deck right there. Now you can see you get just a little bit of bounciness up here, just a touch, but everything else is really pretty stable. So that's 9 miles an hour. All right, let's drop it back to 6 miles an hour. So we're gonna drop our speed a little, but we're gonna incline. Let's incline to 10. Okay, so once again, as that deck raises, you can just kind of see how that reflex cushioning really absorbs the impact. You've got really good stability here, not much movement in the console, and Matthew still has pretty good head clearance. So in conclusion, there are a lot of things that I really like about this updated 2021 model. That incline motor is quieter and it is faster. The processor speed on the console is noticeably faster and the graphics are much improved, and I swear the videography in iFit gets more and more impressive every time I watch it. So some of the things that I love are just the quality of the construction. I am really impressed with the overall feel of the console. As I mentioned, this is kind of my favorite layout. I really feel like that 22-inch screen is big enough to just pull you in and give you an immersive experience. And the cushioning for me makes it so that I can get on this machine and walk or run for almost as long as I want and not get uncomfortable. I don't have joint issues. So I really find this to be one of the most enjoyable machines to use regularly. A few things that we don't love: the size is something to be aware of. You've just got to be aware of the size of the machine. If you run really fast, there might be a little bit of bounciness in that deck, so that's one thing. So to read our full written review, check us out at treadmillreviewguru.com. For current pricing, click the link below. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We'd love to know what you think. My name's Kristen with Treadmill Review Guru, and we'll see you again soon.